Good morning, viewer. Welcome to our FTV English version. Viewers, the brain, the human cerebral cortex measures only a few millimeters in thickness and forms a surface of many folds. Over time, this layer of brain tissue typically becomes thinner as part of the natural aging processes too. This is a hallmark of aging. It is attributed, among other things, to the loss of neurons. As a result, some abilities deteriorate. So, in any case, it is generally assumed that less brain volume means reduced function, explained Professor Esther Kwan, a neuroscientist at DZNE and the Harity Institute of Clinical Brain Research. However, little is known about how exactly the cortex actually ages. And this is remarkable given that many of our daily activities depends on a functioning cortex. That's why we examined the situation with high regulations brain. Working with colleagues from Tübingen and McDevour, Cohen concentrated on a specific region of the cerebral cortex responsible for processing touch, known as the primary somatosensory cortex, and it sits on both sides at the top of the head and runs a narrow strip about a finger's width towards each eye. This brain area is relevant for the perception of one's own body and for interacting with the environment, explains the neuroscientist. When I pick up a key, grasp a door handle, or even walk, I constantly need haptic feedback to control my movements. So the corresponding stimuli converge in this area and are also processed here too. With the help of magnetic resonance imaging in the short form MRI, the team was able to chart this part of the cortex in exceptional detail. They used an advanced scanner with a magnetic field strength of 7 Tesla, which allowed them to capture structures as small as a grain of sand. Around 60 participants aged between 21 and 80 took part in the study. Until now, it had not been considered that the primary somatosensory cortex consists of a stack of several extremely thin layers of tissue, but each with its own architecture and function too. We have now found that these layers age differently. So, the cerebral cortex becomes thinner overall. Some of its layers remain stable or superciliary or even thicker with age. Presumably because they are particularly solicited and thus retain their functionality, we therefore see evidence for neuroplasticity, that is adaptability, ever in senior people. Amazing. Behind this exclusive report, FTV English, Delhi, Bharat.